Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the number one Bitcoin pod. Happy TGIF. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll be pulling up the live charts. Also, quoting Max Kaiser, Saylor has obliterated the halving cycle by building a bridge for $400 trillion in global wealth to convert into Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing No Labs announces adopting a Bitcoin treasury strategy holding 1,000 BTC, another Bitcoin treasury, baby. We'll also be discussing Saylor strategy ups their Bitcoin bet with a new $1 billion stock offering, as well as Metaplanet, the Japanese strategy. They plan to buy 91,000 Bitcoin between now and the next 18 months, which is mind-boggling. Their goal is to hold 100,000 Bitcoin by this time next year. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin ETFs bleed on the Trump-Musk fallout as sentiment turns to fear. Also give you some insights behind the alleged Trump-Musk war publicly displayed yesterday. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin can break the $250,000 price level, according to a particular billionaire. I'll be sharing his insights. And speaking of bullish price predictions, crypto analyst Willy unveils the ultimate Bitcoin path to a 188x rally, sending the Bitcoin price action to 20 milli per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Are you not entertained? A hell of a past 24 hours we have had, and that's an understatement. Shout out everyone in the live chat. Fairground, DNA Noonan. We got a new number 2. Shout out Fairground, a new number 3. It looks like you're the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, DNA is now number 1. Let's get it. I'm at home watching the greatest show on the tube. Love your brother, right back at you. Shout out Chris Trader. What to do? Go grab yourself some espresso from the Bitcoin Cafe. It is that time. Are you guys ready? We are streaming. We're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube, and I will be streaming for the course of the next couple of hours. Hi, Joe Kids, especially from Peter Schiff. Very revealing post he shared from his own testament and his own words earlier. Maybe we'll touch upon that here in a bit as well. But one thing's for certain, I don't recommend bringing kids around Peter Schiff, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, hide your kids, hide your wives. That's all I got to say. JV looking fit and strong as always. Thank you, Mr. Bone Daddy. Respect. DNA, definitely the best biddy show on our web. Greatly appreciate that. Shout out Jay Goldman. Hey, fam, can't chat because I'm driving, but listening. I appreciate you checking in, brother. Mad respect. And again, welcome everyone for holding it down here with the CNA Cafe. Let's go.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number 1. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I think I'm growing the beard out. You notice it gets darker by the day. Almost matches the shades at this point.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
And ever. Yo, welcome, brother. It's good to have you here. And those just tuning in, we do got a lot to cover. Of course, yesterday was a crazy day. I don't think any of us were anticipating what went down. We did discuss it. We will touch upon it later, of course. Lots to share as always. Pure bullishness in the markets. Regardless, we are up 2,500 on the day. We did tap 101, so today we're back above 104. And shit, 112 is the current price discovery level, which we achieved on May 22nd, a couple of weeks back. Let me know when you think we re-enter price discovery. Do you think it'll be this upcoming week? Let me know. And again, welcome everyone joining us. Make some noise. I'm about to pop open the spin drift and get drifty in this mofo. Shout out to your former chairman of the SEC, Nippinator. Where you at? In the front, in the back. Nippinator on attack. And you can actually spot him. There he is on the screen. You can see his snout. Let's expose the Nippinator. Ha ha, Nippinator's been exposed. We caught you, Nip. Caught you red-handed. With the paw in the cookie jar. That's all I'm saying. JV, the true Bitcoin OG. That's all I'm saying. Shout out Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Please. Stack the sats. Tomorrow's sat stack and Saturday. So in the meantime, it's a sat stack and Friday. Get the biddies while the biddies are getting.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you
Yeah, please do explain, Michael. What if we love the thing and we don't want to sell it and it's been in the family for 30 years?
don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works.
Are you guys recognizing more and more bots? They get annoying because it's always like a genuine compliment, and then it's like, make sure to follow this gentleman's analysis. It's very accurate. And then they tag some scammer. Be careful. A lot of bots out there. It's wild. I'm just saying.
For the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
And also a reminder, if you're watching right now on the tube, I encourage you, highly encourage you, make sure you're following me on X and Rumble. I'm currently under attack by the YouTube overlords. They continuously keep flagging and removing my videos. And the majority of them, they are not accepting the appeal. They're permanently removed for allegations of harmful and dangerous content against their terms and policies, and which we all know is bullshit. There's nothing I share in this podcast that promotes illegal Ponzi schemes or get rich quick or cash gifting, but they're blanketing CNA videos under that umbrella. So please follow me on X and Rumble in case shit does hit the fan. At least you can continue to watch me, because at any moment my YouTube channel will be terminated. Why am I so confident in that? It happened last year at around this time, and it happened the year prior. So this is the third year in a row under attack, and I've been shadow banned for several years. So I don't have a lot of hope in the YouTube department, and it is what it is. I'm requesting they pinpoint the timestamps where I'm allegedly in violation of promoting harmful and dangerous content. They refuse to do so. Obviously, they don't have to do anything. It's their platform. So please make sure you're following me on Rumble and X. And when we're done with the podcast segment of the show, I always stick around for a bonus hour, uncensored style, exclusive on X and Rumble. So make sure you're on there. Hey, family, just dealing with the Friday afternoon summertime traffic. It sucks. Summertime in the city. Can we just get a button when Chandy says, the biddy has set me free? That's actually a good point. I could set that up. I got plenty of buttons, if you know what I'm saying. I appreciate the recommendation. If you guys got other recommendations, let me know. Bots love the Bitcoin, apparently so. That's why YouTube is dead, says Angry Viper. Respect the Vipers. It's a bull market indicator at this point. Nippinator indicator in full effect. Exactly. Right before we rip to a new ascension, we get under attack, at least the Bitcoin purists. Happy 411, by the way. It's a pretty divine number right there. Let's go. No more YouTube dip winter. Precisely. Michael Saylor says it's the end of the 4-year cycles. We're just going up forever, Laura. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the Giga Chad. The one and only, I dare say, Mikey Saylor. Good to have you here, brother. And again, those just joining us, welcome, welcome. We're about to kick off the show. I got a little bit more caffeine to get in the bloodstream. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, and maybe another orange panty night, fellas.
It's red panty night when you sanctify me, eh? Back at home with your wife.
And oh shit, Serge, the Pacers won. They were the underdog big time last night, and the final score was 111 to 110. Now, if that's not a sexy bitty blackjack, I don't know what is. And what's ironic is the Knicks' final game against the Pacers, or one of those games towards the end, wasn't it 111 points? I think maybe that was the final game they won before they got knocked out of the finals. But we keep seeing this 110, 111, and obviously that's a 21 sexy bitty blackjack, and 21 a very divine number here within Bitcoin. Satoshi programmed it to where there can only ever be 21 million coins in circulation, and we got Chandy 10 and JV11. Just saying. Yo, Ricardo Manzo, welcome to the live stream. Class action by the YouTube who are shadow banned. Lawyer up. If there's any lawyers willing to work pro bono, we can go against the tube and the alphabet. Let's make it happen, Captain. I'm here. I'm willing to testify, whatever I got to do. Nippinator will testify as well if he has to. All I got to do is summon him to the court. Happy Friday, y'all. Shout out, Steve. What to do, brother? Good to have you here. And again, make sure you guys are following me on X. Also note, I do have a secondary backup X account, which is BTC News Alerts. My main one is obviously Crypto News Alerts. Well, we have a secondary I created earlier in the year as a backup. And there's currently 350 followers. This is a real official account. I just can't verify it because X only allows you to verify one account. So this is a backup account. Hence, it cannot be verified, but it is legit. It's actually me tweeting from behind it, if you didn't know. Now, yesterday we had over 8,000 people on the live stream. We haven't had those numbers in a hot minute, so I got to give respect to Max Kaiser for reposting the stream. Obviously, when you have influencer accounts that have over 600,000 followers and you happen to be the high priest of Bitcoin, people listen. So the show was awesome yesterday, and we got to discuss some very controversial subjects as well, which was kind of cool as a bonus with the whole Elon and Trump saga. We'll touch upon it here today. I'll give you my perspective of what's going on there, of course. And of course, Bitcoin's back on the climb, so you got to respect the pump. 105 incoming. You jive turkeys.
It's a celebration. People are always saying about the talk, and I talk, and I talk, and I talk, but guess fucking what?
Connor, he backs it up, running for president of Ireland, and it's that time. We're going to establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve for the country of Ireland, for the people, the fighting Irish. There's 4 million ready to be set free. Let's make it happen, Connor.
I back it up. I back it up.
Shout out Mark, KJV fam, STA, who bought that dip last night. Whoever did is in the greens, all I got to say. Oh my God, of course, 20 milli, baby. So it turns out the pump has been pushed off until July. Why? I'm a Libra. My money won't come until the end of the month. Of course, it's all going into the crypto. I apologize for the delay. Is it fate? Shout out Imagination of Innocence. Appreciate you tuned in.
It's red panty night when you sanctify me, eh?
Back at ya home with your wife. It's a celebration. Celebration.
Oh, bring me up, bitty glow. Prize discovery, yeah, let it show. Bang, 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 like a B-52, we built a bitty.
Stacked revolutionary love shack, boo. I'm stacking sats like it's Max and Stacy. Stacking sats cause tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats cause the IMF hates me. Stacking sats cause the haters don't faze me. No Diddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the bitty like it's Nipsey and JV. Stacking the bitty like it's paper and Chandy. Stacking BTC like caffeine in my canteen. Life is a game of chess that makes biddies the damn queen. Stacking BTC till they cancel me and I can't stream.
Like Biggie. You already know. I believe Bitcoin will hit the short-term top 18 months after the halving after October of 2025. Well, we're in that window right now. Typically, it's 12 to 18 months preceding the halving. We did have the halving in April of last year, so we're in the money. It's in that time preference right now. The doing. Shout out Fairground, and of course, shout out the one and only Chandy 10. Anyone have predictions of what Bitcoin is going to be at the year 2140, the time of the final Bitcoin being minted? Holy shit. It could be billions if the US dollar still is in existence. At that time, I'm skeptical the US dollar would still be around. Typically, fiat money always returns to its original intrinsic value, and the lifespan is typically like 100 years. And all I'm saying is Max Kaiser's been predicting the death of the dollar for decades, alongside Robert Kiyosaki and even Peter Sniff. If you know who I'm talking about, I think you guys do. So you already know, dollar's probably not going to be around much longer. It's probably going to be replaced. We're going to be living in a cashless society here shortly. Everything's becoming digital or digitized, and crypto is a great example of that, sign of the times. Mike, if it didn't come down here, I'd live for this myself. I would have never believed it. Exactly. Are you referring to what's been going on? Smash the like, subscribe, the repost of the repost. All comments and quotes of the live stream on X will get reposted. I keep this open during the stream specifically to repost you guys. It's the gift that keeps on giving. This is how we hack the algorithm and orange pill the masses like a young blackberry molasses. No, it's not an inheritance. It's just sold the big boat. I don't think the price will drop like the previous years with the world buying. Exactly. And as I discussed in yesterday's episode, we have the least amount of Bitcoin available on the exchanges since the year 2018. We ain't seen a supply shock incoming like this, I mean, at least since 2018. And you guys all saw what happened, you know, with the 2020 bull run to I guess in 2021 we hit the all-time high 69,000, and then obviously the current all-time high is 112, and we're about to eclipse that and make it look like child's play. That's all I'm saying. Michael Saylor sounding very bullish. There is no second best. In Psalm 90, the only psalm attributed to Moses, he declared that even through our best years are filled with pain, God's unfailing love is with us to the end of our lives. Amen to that. You get a gong strike. Now, typically, I notice you copy paste a lot of these quotes. I can give you a tip from experience. Let's say the quote is twice as long, but you can only fit so many characters per. You could just basically highlight the entire thing, copy it, and then paste the whole thing, and then delete the second part, and then you already have the second part saved. And then you could immediately copy paste the comment and then delete the first part you said, and then you don't have to worry about these runoff Bible quotes, just as a little tidbit. But either way, always appreciate the Bible quotes. 2.2 million in play, BTC. That's right, 100K. Let's send it. But anyways, let's kick off this show. Welcome everyone joining us. If you are new to the channel, important, smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode number 2014. I'm your host, JV. It's June 6th, 2025. Bitcoins are ripping like the new Scottie Pippen, already up over 3,200 on the day. Happy TGIF. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day, pulling up Coin 360. As you can see on the screen, yesterday everything was corrective with the saga between the Trumpster and Elon. For those that missed the memo, Elon went full Kendrick on our POTUS and accused them of ultimately, in so many words, being a PDF file and being on the Epstein client list. And the markets did not react favorably, but today we're back. Look at that. Now check it. Bitcoin up 2.7% on the day, trading above 104.5. Ether still in the red, back under 25 hundo. XRP, BNB, Tron, Cardano, all pumping and in the green. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current crypto market cap is currently 3.25 trillion, about a half a trillion shy from the all-time high, which is currently 3.75 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap back on the climb at 2.075 trillion. We have roughly, I missed that statistic, but we have 63.8% Bitcoin dominance, Ether dominance, 9.2%, and the metric I meant to share was the volume, which is 133 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. But hey, first we got to look at the top 100 gainers. At least, let's check it out. Virtual up 9%, Sui up 8%, Floki up 7%. Let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. And checking out the crypto bubbles, get a visual perspective on the day. Safe to say, for the daily, the bulk of the market definitely in the red, maybe 80-20, red over green. Zooming out for the weekly, similar, maybe 80-20, red over green. And zooming out for the monthly, fortunately, the bulk of the market in the green, I'd say 75-25 green over red. And checking out the yearly, holy shit. Yeah, not looking good for the altcoins right now. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're all the way back down with a 45 in fear. Yesterday, 57. Last week, a 60. Last month, a 67 greed. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. Wow, we finally smashed the epic 900,000 block height milestone. Satoshi's going wild. The next big milestone will be the 1 million block height, then the 1.1 milli. Let's get it. And we currently have 149,941 blocks into the halving of 2028, which will be here before you know it. Time sure does fly on this flat earth. That's all I'm saying. The stationary flat earth, that is. And as of today, you can exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 958 sats. So you know what to do, broskies. Pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. And if you don't know, now you know. I got more rhymes than the Bible's got Psalms. Let's get it. Thanks, JV. You're very welcome, Tammy. Can you speak the IPO? I'm not familiar with it. I can't speak upon it if I don't know none about it. As JV just pointed out, it's called the mother of all supply shocks. The Bitcoin mining difficulty all-time high, 127 teras all-time high. Bitcoin exchange reserves all-time low. Over-the-counter deaths all-time low. What happens next? Pretty little bitty going up forever, Laura, I dare say, Greg. Just sold 1,000 worth of the work stuff I don't use, waiting for the 98,000 Bitcoin just in case it doesn't work in my favor, says Imagination of the Innocents. There's a verse for the rap song, da-doing, da-doing, doing. And again, welcome everyone, join the live stream. What it do? Let me check the X feed again. Let's see if we got any more reposts, comments, and quotes. We do. Shout out Crypto Surge. Always appreciate you, brother. We live. Thank you for commenting Adam Taylor's repost with the comment. I just reposted your repost of the repost. Shout out Trevor Fay. Mad respect, brother. JV has the Bitcoin news right now. Join live. Thank you for spreading the word, brother. Just hit you with a repost. And shout out Boss33, spoken like a boss. Crypto news alerts is live, you jive turkeys. And if you don't know, now you know. Anyways, again, welcome everybody. So yeah, let me share my perspective of what went on yesterday. I'm in agreement with the Oracle who was calling it in real time. I believe it was all just a massive distraction. Yesterday, there was a lot of missiles launched from RUSSIA to the Ukraine, and I think the whole drama publicity stunt was nothing more than a distraction so that we're not focused on more important world issues, such as WAR breaking out. Yeah, I mean, that's just my two Satoshis. To me, it makes no sense how Elon, who was literally Trump's best friend since he started supporting him in the campaign, Trump even spending time with his son, how Elon would say that and actually believe that and allow his son to be with the man who he's alleging is on the client list and is ultimately insinuating he's a PDF file. So I find that to be no justification for that. And also, that's something considered libel or defamation. For someone to say something like that, especially to our president and to be the most influential man on the planet with 300 million people following you on X, for him to say that, and if it's not true, and I'm not sticking up for either side, I think they're both crazy, but if it's not true, then Trump has the right to sue him for his entire net worth and win. Because you're not allowed to create rumors that aren't accurate unless Elon has the sex tapes from Trump allegedly at the island or something and can prove it. So I look at it as a publicity stunt. It doesn't make any sense for them to war with one another publicly. And I think they know better than that. So that's just my two Satoshis. You guys let me know your thoughts on how you perceived all that going down. Are you on Elon's side or Trump's side? I think they're colluding together to deceive us personally. I don't trust either is ultimately what I'm trying to tell you. Good afternoon, JV. Shout out Overkill. Shout out to the not hearing the 50G song. Amen to that, Joe. What makes Bitcoin superior to every other shitcoin? Limited supply, no founder, CEO, insiders, IPO holders, Bitcoin's anonymous, unhackable, global, irrefutable, impregnable, pure. Yep, just a big show. Couldn't agree more, brother. Politics for you, theatrics. Quoting William Shakespeare, the world is a stage, and all of these perceived people that we see on the world stage are actors. I genuinely believe that. Like, literally, Trump is an actor. He had the #1 reality TV show, and I believe politics is just a big reality show at the end of the day, but that's just my thoughts. The world is a stage. Thank you, Knox Bill. Agreed, it's all staged. Just makes no sense. I can't make any logic of it. Book of Enoch is a wild read. I agree with that one. Let's all read the Book of Enoch, please. There's a reason it's not in the King James Version of the Bible. We'll just leave it at that. I didn't want to get involved in it yesterday. It was too much drama. I do think that Donald Trump is doing the best he can for America. I definitely think Elon Musk is of the devil. Well, at least we can agree on that latter part of the statement. I definitely agree that Elon's a Satanist. I know I get a lot of people want to throw stones at me for saying things like that, especially on this platform we're streaming on where he tends to be everyone's savior, but I've never trusted Elon. I still don't trust him. In my opinion, he's the least trustworthy human being on the world stage. Yeah, I mean, and I break that down so often, I don't have to get into it today, but you guys know where I'm coming from. Actors embedded in the human firmament. Precisely, Silas. And I appreciate your feedback there, Tammy. Respect. All the World's a Stage, a Cool Rush double album. And let's get it. Double album. Action Jackson satisfaction for the broskies. We just smashed 520 live viewers. We're about to kick off our astrology for the broskies. Shout out to the baddies. You know what to do. You know what to do. Sent you a meme I made on X, JV. Thank you, Adam. Let me see if it's worthy to share with the world. This is the meme Adam just sent me. Your name is Elon now. Little Zuckerberg action for you. I appreciate the meme, Adam. That's actually hilarious. Hilarious, I tell you. Yeah, man. Shout out Harry Balls. Now we got a party. Harry Balls is here keeping it hairy. I love it, brother. Let them throw the stones, JV. She is transhuman. Must be referring to Musk's little boy or girl. I don't know what the proper pronoun is. But yeah, I mean, if you have a transgender child, you may be a Satanist. Yeah, I mean, if you rock a Satan costume, you may be a Satanist. If you rock the upside down cross, you may be a Satanist, is all I'm saying. If you promote the NASA fake space theory, you may be a Satanist. If you do everything in your power to take credit away from God, you may be a Satanist. You know what I mean? If you have the tenacity to publicly allege our POTUS of the United States of America is on the Epstein file list, and you don't have any evidence to back it up, you may be a Satanist. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All glory to God. Be very weary of those that never give credit to God or Jesus. That's all I am saying, and we'll leave it at that. Shout out to the Angry Vipers. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, brother. JV, can we hit the gong for the bong hit, brother? Oh, absolutely. This gong strike is for the broskies. When I hit the gong, you hit the bong. When JV hits the gong, ladies drop the thong. The doing doing. I can do better than that. We'll give it a strike number 2. I'm winding up like a young Don Mattingly in this bitch. Check it out. You already know. TGIF, CNA fam. This is the TGIF without the Steve Urkel. Remember back in the days? There was like all this programming. It was like Family Matters, Full House, all those shows. The Wonder Years. Y'all remember all that? I know I'm aging myself right now, but I remember being like a young teenager. That's what was all over the TV. I was like, oh my God, thank God it's Friday. I get to watch Steve Urkel. Holy moly. That Urkel's on a whole different level. Tammy, please explain your Elon hypothesis. I just hit the thumbs up. 27 was all I saw. 117. Why only 27 likes? That's what I'm saying. If I got to throw a stone through the screen, I'm going to throw a stone through the screen and get the broskies stone through the screen. Happy 420 to the broskies, of course.
Like Biggie, it was all a dream. Now the biddy has set me free.
Going, 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 let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way. No one to hold them, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
I can't disagree, Silas. I am the best gonger in the whole house. Nippinator can't even figure out how to lift up the striker. He has these paws, very limited with the paws. If Nippinator has to strike the gong, he has to like whip his tail like a dragon tail strike. It's very difficult, very high level martial arts. Nippinator can pull it off, though, if anyone can pull it off. The one and only Nippinator, hence he's the Nippinator. And that's why we got a Nippinator indicator. But that's a story for another day. All right, here we go. Here's the latest TA, a.k.a. astrology for the baddies. Bitcoin rebounds to 105. But is it a bull trap? Underway. Yay, nay, holla, let me know. Hyperliquid whale and Elon's impact on the pre-little bitty. According to Super Bitcoin Bro. I don't know if he has any relation to Mario and Luigi, but the drop to 100 on June 5th, damn, did we hit all the way to 100. I didn't even realize we went that low. Was mainly triggered by excessive bullish leverage from degen traders. These leveraged bets follow the liquidation of the large position held by the so-called hyperliquid whale near 104. And want to know what's really retarded? How many of you guys actually donated money to this whale who's only helping to wreck the market? Interesting how that works. James Wynn reportedly incurred losses exceeding 100 million within the week. The dude's like risking hundreds of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, people are sending him their hard-earned crypto, which makes no sense. But then again, the world doesn't make sense at this point. With all the public feuds between Elon and Trumpster, and I just shared my perspective between that saga, in between the stories. So if you were here, you got to see that. You can always rewind it if you missed it later. Link into the dispute directly to the Bitcoin decline. It's difficult. The S&P 500 closed down 0.5%. I also heard rumors that Elon's Tesla stock had the worst day in the stock market. That was according to Patrick Bet David. I think I heard him say it lost 150 million shed in market cap. Can someone verify if that's actually true? It just seems like an insane amount of money to be lost on a stock in one day. But then again, when you go apeshit crazy publicly, accusing the POTUS of the United States as being a PDF file, maybe that is the reason. But you tell me. Bitcoin traders remain concerned that the looming global economic slowdown could lead investors to become more risk adverse. Data from the U.S. Department of Labor showed the weekly unemployment claims rose to their highest level in 8 months during the final week of May. And additionally, the U.S. Fed Governor Adriana stated that tariffs pose downside risks to employment and output growth. Now, shout out Jack Mahlers and all my Bitcoin ballers. He says, we just updated our Bitcoin back loan agreement to make it crystal clear. Your Bitcoin is never rehypothecated. And I actually watched one of his recent speeches discussing that. He also, this was like 2 weeks back when I watched it, he said at the time the lending was I think it was 12%. APY or percentage on the loan for the Bitcoin back loans using his platform Strike, and his goal was to get it to single digits, which ultimately means 9% or less before the end of the month. I don't know if he actually achieved that. If anyone has an update on that, do let me know. But there are different options now when it comes to Bitcoin lending. I believe Coinbase is offering it. Jack Mahler's company is offering it, and I think Lendin, if I'm pronouncing it properly, and there's quite a few other options as well. But just be careful. Never borrow money, even against your Bitcoin, if you're not capable of paying it back, because what happens if you don't pay it back, they keep your collateral, and typically you have double the amount of the loan sent to them in collateral is typically how it works. And also, the typical term is 12 months. It's not like you're going to get a 30-year term loan on a Bitcoin back loan. If so, then everyone would just borrow money against their Bitcoin and pay the minimal payments and watch Bitcoin go up forever, and everyone would be rich. But maybe in the future, that's how it'll be. I don't know. But anyways, fundamentally, the same concerns trigger a Bitcoin drop to the low of 100,400, but we bounced pretty substantially from there. So hopefully the bottom's in. Here's the silver lining. We did not drop below the critical $100,000 support. That's a major psychological support, and it held, and we're on the up and up. And quoting Max Kaiser, Saylor has obliterated the halving cycle, building a bridge for $400 trillion in global wealth to convert to Bitcoin. This was off the back of the news here. We're offering perpetual US dollar yield forever, and we are receiving the capital forever. This is Saylor discussing this. I think this was on Squawk Box or CNBC. By matching a long duration liability with a long duration asset, we're creating an indestructible balance sheet. It sounds like Saylor's balance sheet is protected by a firmament, protected by the power of God. That's what it sounds like. But I think Max is right here. Saylor's just on a whole new level. Also breaking news, No Lapse, announced adopting a Bitcoin treasury, another treasury in the game, 1,000 Bitcoin. Why so bearish? But yeah, we're witnessing Bitcoin treasury companies be birthed practically every day. Bitcoin game theory in full effect. And let's also pull up some of the live charts. We'll do a little live chart action. Jackson Satisfaction, Tony Braxton for the homies. Shout out wherever the nip went. Oh, he's still there. You can spot him. Let me know if you see him in the screen after the infamous freeze frame. But lots happening, a lot of action. Jackson Satisfaction on the charts. But let's start with the 1 hour, and then we'll work our way backwards. This is via Coinbase, via TradingView. Holy shit. Talk about a stairway to heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. insane amount of green candles on the hourly chart. This is not typical, hence why we're up so much here today since hitting the bottom of 100,000 yesterday. But we did correct a bit, but hopefully the staircase to heaven continues and we can all walk up the staircase and say hi to Satoshi. You know what I mean? And zooming out from the hourly, let's take a look at the 4 hour. What does the 4 hour say, JV? Well, let's look at the Nibinator indicator. 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive candles, 4, 8, 12, 16. So for the past 20 hours, we've been pumping. Finally got a red corrective. No particular bull scenario targets on the 4 hour. So we'll work our way back a little more. Checking out the daily. For the daily chart, you can see we've recovered the losses already from yesterday, which is pretty nice. No particular bull scenario targets played out here on the daily. So zooming out a bit further, we'll take a look at the monthly. Seems to be a little jet lag in my computer here for whatever reason, but we got it. There's the weekly rising wedgie, the only wedgie I approve of. And again, 7 consecutive green weekly candle closes. Unfortunately, last week we closed in the red, and in 2 more days we get a new weekly candle close. And if things are remaining where they're at in a couple of days, then it's going to be back-to-back red weekly candle closes. However, if the bullish momentum can continue, we can flip that red candle into a green and continue our bullish momentum. Also, silver lining here on the weekly is we have a cup and handle target sitting at 124 in play. And if you don't know, now you know. And also take a quick look at the monthly. The month of May and April, we close in the green. Thus far, not much action for June, but hopefully we get another green bullish candle close. You guys, let me know your thoughts. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price will likely take us next? And I'll read your comments out loud before we jump into some new breaking news with Michael Saylor and then Meta Planet and the rest of the Biddy news. JV, not everybody can get rich off the Biddy, since that would be a new fiat, but most can be benefited. Correct, not everyone will get rich off of Bitcoin, but everyone can benefit. I agree with that statement. Because it all depends upon your definition of riches, number one. It also depends upon how much Bitcoin you're capable of buying. Like, let's just shoot a realistic scenario. If you only got $10 to your name to invest in, that $10 investment into Bitcoin is probably not going to set you financially free, even if you hodl for the next 20 years. That's just a reality, right? However, a same person can purchase Bitcoin today, and instead of $10, maybe over time they accumulate a whole Bitcoin. And then you hold that whole Bitcoin for 10, 20 years, you'll probably be financially free for you and a generation to come. Probably. I'm just speculating, not financial advice. Everything I share in this stream is for entertainment purposes only. But you see the point. My little miner's working. Dig, dig, dig. Let's go, little pretty little bitty miner. Hopefully Bitcoin pulls the rest up. I am too, Greg. I am very proud of Jack Maulers and all my Bitcoin ballers. We're the future shot callers, spending Papa's dollars, playing cops and robbers. Hit the like for the Nipinator. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to strike the gong for the Nipinator. This one's for you, Nip. And again, welcome everyone joining us. We're up to 700 people on the stream. I'm checking the X feed. Holy moly, I just got paid on X. Engagements are up $38.86. I'm retiring. This is my final stream. Sorry, ladies and gents, but I've struck a fortune. I'm going to put that $38 into Bitcoin, hodl it for the next 2 centuries, and I'll never work again. Thank you, Elon. Elon just set me free. A little sarcasm there, but I appreciate the $38, Elon. I mean, let's see what I can buy with that. I can buy an acai bowl and an avocado bowl. Perfect. I get a free lunch. Thank you, Elon. Work week is over. We've parked up our vans. We've logged off the computers, live with the JV and the absolute governor, the former governor or chairman of the SEC. Is that what you mean there? Shout out KZY Crypto. Just said you would repost Biddy Broski. There he is. Harry Balls keeping it hairy. Your Bitcoin pod is the only one to listen to. That's what I'm saying. If you listen to anyone else's Bitcoin pod, you're missing the boat. Shout out to Zach Essam, keeping it Essie. He says, pull up, fam. We in the building. I'm up. Like a young handyman. Up, and away. And again, thank you, Stephen, Trevor Fay, the rest of the fam. I'm going to repost all of you guys, and then we'll continue with the Bitty news. Let's go.
I've always been a rapper, honky cracker, but now I'm a pastor, Bitcoin stacker. Now I'm a master of the Bitcoin standard. Hit 'em up faster than the Bitcoin panda. You can't touch me with your shitcoin flow. Like, do you even Bitcoin, bruh? Let me know.
Welcome to the Bitcoin show. Now listen up closely, low-key, stacking BTC like Satoshis. In El Salvador with my Bitcoin broskies.
Raising up the bitty
Like Gohan, living in a hollow house, we're not the pawns. Let's bitty up, babe.
Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Hollow house strong, yeah, we built it this way.
Know when to hold 'em, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
Bitcoin's dripping like a new Scottie Pippen 80 G's.
With royalty, bitty kings and queens.
Manifesting the kingdom that's finally come.
Playing chess moves, checkmate, we won. We're raising the roof in El Salvador.
Freedom flows, IMF
Can't hold us no more. Stacking BTC like Tate versus the BBC. Stacking the Bitty like BTC OGs. Let's go. I need crypto to happen in crypto in 10 years. I'll be pushing up the grass. After that, dog food for a month. Nippinator's food is not cheap. I spend like $100 when I order his food. It lasts a while because he's little, but I buy him the good food because when you feed your dog the recommended grocery store food that they have in the dog food section, your dog's going to be a sick dog. That's what I discovered. So no more pedigree. I used to give Nippinator pedigree because every grocery store, pedigree. Yeah, and then he done get worms and parasites and is ill and sick and not eating. Changed his diet, changed the nip. Now he's like Satoshi. He's untouchable. It's like he's protected by a firmament, that Nippinator, and you got to respect it. Hit the like, share the stream, keep the repost of the repost, keeping it fair. I hear you, Fairground. I'm looking for the 15 to 20 left. DNA is the new number 2. Fairground's our new number 1. Competition here in the chat. 800 on the live stream. There's my signal to continue. 444. You already know. All right, let's continue with the news. I think next story is Saylor up in his race to buy more Bitcoin. I mean, that shouldn't shock you. Michael Saylor strategy ups his Bitcoin bet with another $1 billion stock offering. It was previously announced as $250 million, so he said, let's just 4x that mofo. Anything less than $1 billion is too bearish for Saylor. That's right. Saylor, or Strategy, the world's largest corporate hodler of the Bitty, plans to raise nearly $1 billion. And if he's planning to raise $1 billion, I have a feeling he'll raise like $1.25 billion because he always underpromises and over-delivers. That's the Giga Chat for you. The company, led by Executive Chair Mikey Saylor, plans to issue 11 million shares of a 10% Series A perpetual preferred stock at a public offering price of $85 per share. Hence why he's the Bitcoin alchemist. He knows how to print Bitcoins out of thin air. He's like Satoshi 2.0, this man. Strategy estimates raising about $1 billion for the net proceeds after deducting underwriting discounts and commissions for the firm's offering expenses. According to the announcement, the company plans to use the almost $1 billion for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of the Bitty and working capital, as per the announcement officially shared. The move quadruples the company's previously announced $250 million raise, introducing new financing route beyond its historical use of common stock and convertible debt. And in contrast, Strategy's perpetual preferred stocks will pay professional institutional investors non-cumulative dividends equal to 10% of the stated amount. So at the price when this article was published, Bitcoin was 104. That means the $1 billion would enable Strategy to acquire an additional 9,633 BTC, significantly more than the latest purchase of 705 for $75 million, which was announced June 2nd, which was this Monday. So what's going to happen is typically every Sunday, Saylor posts a Saylor tracker, which is a precursor that the following day on the Monday, he's going to make the announcement of how much Bitcoin he accumulated in the previous previous week, and he's been doing that like clockwork. So expect that in a couple of days. Strategy's Bitcoin premium soared 112% compared to the spot biddy price, according to Van Eck, quoting him here. We calculate a 112% premium to the combined fair value of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin and core software business, driven by expectations of future Bitcoin accumulation, regulatory advantages, and speculative positioning. Every time MicroStrategy issues new shares to retail investors, shares backed by Bitcoin worth only a fraction of the stock price, the company pockets the difference and then frames it as a Bitcoin yield. That's according to the 10x Research CEO. However, the premium is smaller than Japanese investment firm Metaplanet and their Bitcoin premium, which soared 596,000. That's right. So, and we're going to actually cover that in great detail as our next story of the day, because they made some very advantageous projections of how much Bitcoin they plan on accumulating. So we'll break that one down next. But yeah, so Michael Saylor has close to, well, his company has close to 600,000 Bitcoin. Started accumulating Bitcoin, first publicly traded company to do so back in 2020. So in 5 years, he's accumulated roughly 600,000 Bitcoin. Now to put it in perspective, how big these asset management giants are, like BlackRock, they achieved greater Bitcoin accumulation in 1.5 years, I should say, than it took Saylor 5 years. Larry Fink's company, BlackRock, has already surpassed 600,000 BTC in 1.5 years, because the Bitcoin ETF wasn't even a thing until officially January 11th of 2024. So a year and a half ago, 600,000 Bitcoin. And right now, there's going to be the mother of all supply shocks. We have less Bitcoin available on the exchanges since 2018, and we have more institutional adoption than we have ever had since the very beginning. The institutions didn't even come along until Larry Fink, with BlackRock and, early of last year in 2024. And then it wasn't even really a thing for the corporations to hold Bitcoin or create a Bitcoin treasury until Saylor was the first to do that in 2020, putting the Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Now we have relentless amount of Bitcoin treasury companies being birthed. We can't forget 21, Jack Mallers' new company. We can't forget Trump. He just filed for a Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. We covered that yesterday. Also, Trump's already purchasing Bitcoin. So holy shit. And then there's all these other treasury companies. We got Metaplanet. We'll break down deeper. So only so much Bitcoin to go around. And when you have massive demand and very limited supply, hence a supply shock, the price is going to go parabolic. We may witness a run-up like we saw back in 2016 when Bitcoin just soared, or even the very first halving in 2012 to 2013. Now, obviously, there's no guarantee. History repeats. But even if it fucking rhymes, we're at the right place at the right time is all I'm saying. Metaplanet will correct. Hype cycles tend to find the median 1 million Bitcoin accumulation for Michael Saylor by December. 1 million, baby. Let's go. And he'll probably hit it. The note of the legal tender for all the debts, public or the private, every Federal Reserve note printed, an IOU, has lost 97% of the purchasing power in 100 years. Choose wisely and stack the biddy accordingly is all I'm saying.
Stacking BTC like Tate versus the BBC. Stacking the biddy like BTC OGs. Stacking BTC on Lightning with no fees. Stacking BTC like Snoop Dogg rolls weed. Stacking BTC like Scarface with a nosebleed. Stacking BTC like Shinobi, nobody knows me. Stacking BTC like everyone owes me. Stacking BTC like Max and John McAfee. Stacking BTC, accumulating stats so rapidly, so happily. Stacking BTC so casually, no casualties of galaxies around Earth fallacies.
Stacking BTC on a flat earth with no gravity. I bought some Metaplanet, but not as much as many in the stock group. I'm going to hold in for a year, plus so many capital gains taxes would be crazy. So with the risk of 1.5 to the tax, man, it's just a gamble. Word up, brother. Figured out I went the wrong route. Got with JV and Nippinator with the Biddy fam and went all out. Rolling in MPVs every week. We made BTCs. That's all I'm saying. All right, Metaplanet. We discussed Michael Saylor and acquiring another 1 billion, or at least raising money to do so. Well, here's the latest with Metaplanet. The headline reads, Strategies Metaplanet to buy 91,000 Bitcoin. Now, when I saw that number, I'm like, good Lord, because I know originally their target was to have, I think, 10,000 Bitcoin before the end of this year. And I think it was 21,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026. Now they up that mofo big time. Let's break this down as the game theory continues around the world. Metaplanet, also known as the Japan Strategy, updated its Bitcoin acquisition plans to acquire 100,000 of the BTC by the end of next year. So they just quadrupled their numbers. Jeez Louise, I love it. Metaplanet June 6th posted its new Bitcoin plan, increasing the previous target of, I told you, it was previously only 21,000. Our previous target, they said, to hold 21,000 BTC by the end of 2026 has now been dramatically revised upwards. We now aim to hold 100,000 Bitcoin by that time, according to the Metaplanet CEO. Metaplanet currently holds 8,888 BTC. Following the latest 1,088 Bitcoin acquisition announcement, the new target means it's committing to buy at least 91,000 Bitcoin in the next 18 months. The doing. Metaplanet's rush to buy more of the Bitty is a response to the economic developments worldwide and changes in the global financial system. According to the CEO, the global economy is undergoing a structural transformation from a traditional supply structure centered on capital and labor to a new economic foundation driven by information technology. The situation is further exacerbated by the post-war monetary regime, implications such as geopolitical risks, trade policy shift, and growing concerns over accumulated sovereign debt. That's right. So, in this environment, capital has begun flowing out of the assets previously considered safe, such as the long-term government bonds. Gold has been revalued to record high levels against the major currencies. And against this backdrop, the strategic importance of the Bitty as an asset characterized by high scarcity, ease of custody and transfer, and the absence of credit intermediaries is rapidly gaining recognition. That's right. And to fund the purchases, Metaplanet decided to issue stock acquisition rights. Sounds very familiar, enabling the issuance of up to 555 million shares aimed at acquiring the Bitty. The new 555 million shares will join the 210 million shares already issued under the 21 million plan, and according to the statement, Metaplanet expects to raise a total of 770 billion Japanese yen, which is 5.3 billion USD, based on the initial exercise price of 1,388 yen, which is $9.60. And by the end of 2027, they say, we aim to hold over 210,000 of the Bitty, thereby entering the so-called 1% club, referring to entities holding at least 1% of the Bitcoin 21 million supply cap. And obviously, there's very few entities who can claim that. Metaplanet's accelerated Bitcoin push came shortly after Standard Chartered Bank, and the primary shareholder of Standard Chartered is BlackRock Broskies, stemming from the rising Bitcoin treasury strategy adoption amongst the public companies. And according to the bank, 21 out of the total 124 public companies that have invested in the Bitty own a combined 3.2% of the 21 million Bitcoin, which goes to show you that the corporations only have 3% collectively of the Bitcoin supply. That's a drop in the bucket. Over 50% of the Bitcoin is held by people like you and the Nippinator, the retail, right? Government has a very small portion as well. So as the institutions continue to accumulate, who knows? They can eventually have 50% of the Bitcoin supply, especially with all these Bitcoin treasury companies being birthed. But there you have it, yeah. And next up, we'll be discussing Bitcoin ETFs bleed on the Trump must fall out as sentiment hits the fear. And then we'll discuss some bullishness, $250,000 target from billionaire Tim Draper. And we'll also be discussing a massively bullish Willy Woo target. I dare say the most bullish Willy Woo target I've ever shared, which is 20 million per pretty little Bitty, going up forever Laura. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's up over 4,100 on the day. Let her rip. Tater chip. We may flip this mofo into a pump watch, play the Tandy Jams, and watch Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in this bitch. Diamonds are also like fiat. At least we cannot make gold and won't be able to soon. Yes, and there's a group of people that control the diamond market. I'll let you guys figure that one out. Absolutely. It's an imaginary scarcity, just like everything else is imaginary in this planet. We pretend oil is very scarce. Oh my God, it comes from dinosaur bones, hence the term fossil fuel. Okay. Meanwhile, oil is the lifeblood of the earth. It's like the blood in our veins. Yeah, I mean, there's an abundance of oil. They just control it and pretend it's extremely scarce to raise up the price. Same fucking thing with precious metals. Let's not pretend there's only so much gold. They can just invest more money into digging up more gold. In fact, scientists have figured out how to turn lead into gold. Tell me that's not alchemy. I mean, that's the fucking definition of alchemy. So if they can create gold out of lead, then gold is not as scarce as we're led to believe. A lot of the so-called scarce assets is a bunch of bullshit. Bitcoin is the most scarce, hence it is the hardest asset not to be fucked with. I'm just saying, it's unfuckwittable. It's impregnable. Feel me? Actually, fiat's the greatest scam. I agree. The greatest Ponzi scheme to have ever existed. U.S. motherfucking dollar, and hidden in plain sight, we even have the Illuminati pyramid on the dollar with the all-seeing eye. What do you think that represents? But here's the silver lining. Bitcoin's going up forever. Hedge against the dollar. Hedge against the fiat apocalypse. Hedge against the bond apocalypse. Hedge against the inflation. Hedge against the deflation. Hedge against the hyperinflation. And prepare for hyper Bitcoinization, Nippinator indicator, in full effect. That's all I'm saying.
Stacking BTC on a flat earth with no gravity. Stacking BTC cause Bitcoin is your majesty.
Let's biddy up, babe.
Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way, no one to hold 'em.
Now, I wish this wasn't true. I woke up and the first thing I saw was a post from Bring Facts of Peter Schiff alleging in his own words that he's proud of having sex with underage girls. There's no other way to slice it, but obviously I checked it to make sure it was accurate because everyone's like, that's not true. He would never say that. So I'm like, okay, let me go to his wall. No, I've confirmed on Peter's wall. This is a legit post of Peter bragging about having sex with underage girls. I don't know about you guys, but the definition of underage girl means minor. So there's no excuse. I don't care if you are a college student. You're still an adult, Peter, and you shouldn't be having sex with underage girls. And I don't know why you would publicly even say something that retarded unless you're just literally that retarded. I don't know what to think of that, but I had to call it out. And I even tagged like Bitcoin Magazine. I'm like, I hope he's not a speaker at future Bitcoin conferences. I wouldn't want to bring my child around this man who brags about having sex with underage. Let me just read what he wrote in his own words. I'm not saying it wasn't a crime. I'm just saying it's not pedophilia. When I was in college, this is according to Peter, I had sex with underage girls. That doesn't make me a PDF file. And I got to remember to say PDF file instead of the real word, not to get censored. But that's like, there's no justification, Peter. I want this man, if any authorities are watching, that man should be investigated. Not a good look, Peter, and I'm pretty confident that's a crime. You should not have sex with underage girls. And then there's people on the thread like justifying it. It goes to show you people's true colors. If someone's trying to justify Peter bragging about having sex with underage girls, you've missed the plot. Like, I don't get that concept. People are like, but what if they were only 7? What if they were 17? Well, he doesn't say 17. He just says underage girls. Clearly, underage means under 18. Now it leads me to believe, are we talking 10-year-olds, Peter? 12-year-olds? 13-year-olds? 15-year-olds? 4-year-olds? I'm curious, Peter. But this is the sick, twisted shit. I mean, and this is... I'll never understand why a Bitcoin conference would have him as a featured speaker when he's been the biggest grifter and anti-Bitcoiner, and he openly promotes having sex with underage girls. And this is who we're going to give a mic and give influence to? What the? I can't make sense of it. I'm going to stop the gripe. I didn't even plan on bringing that up, but it popped on my timeline. Peter, shame on you, motherfucker. Stay away from my kids. And yeah, shit, I have no other words.
Yeah, we're holding, never folding.
Bitcoin glow, stack it up, let it show. Price discovery, patience, game on, let's go. Biddy up, Roger out.
USA need one common age of majority age. Maybe Peter was on. I would not be surprised at this point, is all I'm saying. Not a good look, Peter. I don't agree with the whiz kids. Yeah, not a good look, Peter.
We're changing the world, there's no doubt.
Then want to know what's really fucked up? Someone asked Grok, is this true? And then Grok stood up for Peter and said, no, there's no evidence. I'm like, no fucking evidence. I just went to his wall. I just went to his timeline. I just copy pasted the proof of work. And then the AI is going to stick up for the pedos? You can't make this motherfucking shit up. Like, seriously. Serious. Grok was like, there's no, he didn't say that. Like, the AI has become retarded and compromised. Holy fuck. Anyways, I don't know why Peter's trying to stick up for. Makes no fucking sense. I'm disgusted more so than anything. Disgusted. But anyways, let's change the topic, man. That fucking Peter Schiff. Anyways, I'm just disgusted, and especially he lives in Puerto Rico. Out of all places, I'm stuck on the same island. What the fuck? Jeez Louise. Anyways, next story of the day. Sorry, guys. I get caught up in that bullshit. Did we discuss Trump and Musk yet, or we didn't even get there? Yeah, we didn't even get there. Let's do that next. Bitcoin ETFs bleed on the Trump-Musk fallout sentiment, turning to fear regarding the crypto greed and fear index. We covered it earlier. We're back with a 45 in fear. The latest outflows from the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs followed two-day recovery, coming after a series of outflows from May 29th to June 2nd, totaling $1.2 billion in just 3 trading days. Global Bitcoin ETFs have seen $8 million of outflows in the past week, while Ether ETPs topped inflows at $321 million. And according to ARK Invest, ARK 21 shares led the exodus June 5th with a massive $102 million of outflows. Ether ETFs also shaken, but still on an inflow streak, as per what's outlined here from Soso Value. US spot Ether ETF saw 11.3 million of inflows June 5th, marking 14 consecutive days of inflows. Still, yesterday's inflow were a noteworthy drop from 56 million of inflows on June 4th and 109 million of inflows on June 7th. Ether ETPs have attracted attention amid improving network fundamentals and resilient ETH futures markets. BlackRock, the world's largest crypto ETF issuer, just purchased 50 million worth of Ether. And my guess is that's why the Ethereum market cap was back on the climb. It's probably due to the BlackRock $50 million ETF purchase. And that's according to Arcam Intelligence. And there you have it, yo. Next up, we'll break down Tim Draper's 250,000 target, followed by Willy Woo's $20 million target. And we'll go from there. Guardians of the Gaia says he's a weasel. That's what I'm saying. Bouncers would also let underage chicks into the nightclubs in the 90s. Not sure about now. Well, any way you slice it, you can't justify an adult doing anything sexual with underage kids. They're kids. They're minors. There's no justification. It doesn't matter if you're on drugs. It doesn't matter if you're on alcohol. It doesn't matter if bouncers allowed underage children in clubs back then. There's no justifying it. It's despicable behavior. I'm pretty confident it's illegal behavior. It's felony behavior. And I think the man should be investigated. That's all I'm saying. I was also into older women when I was a teenager. Nothing wrong with that. You can be into older women as a teenager. However, if you're under 18 or 17, depending upon the state, and you have sex with the older woman will be held liable. And it happens all the time in school. Teachers have sex with their students. Women teachers do this. Men do this. They all do it. And it's illegal either way you slice it. Doesn't matter. There's no justification. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why people are trying to justify Peter's behavior. It's unacceptable, especially as a parent with a daughter who is a child. I would never allow my daughter to be near that man or within the same vicinity, knowing he's attracted to minors. That's according to his own testimony. That's not me putting words in his mouth. That's just him saying, yeah, I remember I used to have sex with a... This is according to Peter. This is Peter's own words. What I'm saying is society in general turns a blind eye to all sorts, of course, because the world is controlled and ran by sick, satanic fuckers who find that behavior completely acceptable. Why do you think Epstein's Island exists? Why do you think the Diddy freak-off parties exist? They do sick, twisted, disgusting things to children with adults. They blackmail these influencers, and that's the world we're living in. Literally. I'm not making this shit up. This is all common knowledge now. Shout out Cat Williams for exposing Diddy before it even transpired in the public domain. They want young men to join the military when they turn 18. Shout out to the crypto princess. Most U.S. states, the age of consent is 16. Well, does that mean they need their parents' consent, or they're allowed to just say, I'm 16 and I want to do this with an adult? Any way you slice it, though, it's not a good look. I don't care if you're 16 with consent or not. It's fucking despicable, unacceptable, and it's disgusting. And it should not be allowed. And maybe we need to change the laws if that's the issue. If 16-year-olds are allowed to have sex with grown adults, I don't find that acceptable regardless what the state code is. To me, it's despicable. And I think we can do better as a society. Yeah, I mean, 18 is young enough. If 18 is not young enough, you're a sick, twisted, sick piece of shit is the only way I can slice it, because a kid is not fully developed. That there's a reason we have these laws in place to protect children. Something to do with their brain not fully developed to make rational decisions. There's a reason we don't allow 13-year-olds behind a fucking wheel driving a car. Their brain isn't fucking developed. They're not thinking properly. Thanks for having common sense. Cheers, Brock. I just don't get this shit. Still children. Exactly. We need to protect our children. It's bad enough how children have it in this world with all these sick fuckers running around. Morning fam, sounds like I've joined during the JV rant. Get it, brother. Shout out B. Rice. I agree. I don't see why the underage people should be living alone at college. Yeah, it's holy shit. That's all I gotta say. Just not acceptable, not a good look, and especially bragging about it. It's like, why would you do that in a public domain? He's trying to justify, it sounds like he's trying to justify like Epstein's actions or something. It's like, oh, I've done it all the time. That doesn't make me a PDF file. No, that's actually what it makes you, Peter. That's precisely what it makes you. Father of two small boys, preach, brother. Amen. Amen. And imagine someone like Peter Schiff touching your two little boys. Not a good look. Not a good look. But anyways, let's move away from this subject. Again, wasn't my intent to even bring it up. But shit, I'm shocked over the past 24, 48 hours what we've been witnessing online. Between Trump, Elon, Peter Schiff, what's next? Zuckerberg going to come out and admit he's a robot? Is the Biden clone going to come out and say, I admit I'm just a mask? I'm a robot, soulless. Trump was right the entire time. Shit, nothing surprises me anymore, is all I'm saying. But anyways, here we go. Bitcoin can break the $250,000 level according to Billionaire. That's right. Young Bitcoin adopter, Tim Draper, the man with the baddest eyebrows in the game. I dare say his eyebrows are up there with Pai Mei from Kill Bill. I ain't never seen a man with such brilliant eyebrows in my life. If I can grow half an eyebrow like Draper, shit, I'd be a made man. According to Draper, the 250,000 target isn't just wishful thinking. In 2018, he said Bitcoin would reach that level by 2020, which was a Tim Draper prediction, which I don't even recall the exact number, but I think it was Tim Draper predicting Bitcoin would hit 250,000 in 2020. And yes, YouTube is literally